Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and it's lovely to have you here. Do check out my other work and tutorial videos and like, share and subscribe if you can. Today I'm going to be doing a guppy fish chain pull on a black base. I'm going to be doing a little experiment today, something I haven't really done before. I'm going to be mixing house paint, black house paint, which is the Johnson's one that I have here in the UK. That's been watered down about 10%. I'll be using the black paint as a base and using normal tube paints as such that have been watered down with my pouring medium, which I've mentioned before as De La Rowney pouring medium, acrylic paint, craft glue and some water. I'll put the proportions up on the screen for you in a second. Here you go. And what I've done is in these paints, these were pre-mixed paints from another pour, there's a slight dash of silicone oil as well in some of them but not others. But I'll be doing a chain pull. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to do a fish. Okay, so I think this is a guppy fish, I'm not 100% sure, but I drew a fish out of my drawing pad, and this is the kind of style I'm going to go for. So I'm going to be doing the tail and the fins basically in those kind of nice blue colors. Yeah, I'll be using these, and these are chains that you can buy. Okay, so cords, chains, whatever you want to call them. You can get them on eBay or Amazon and other places. They like those cords that you put on a fan. And I've got some larger ones, and these are Christmas baubles really, so they're a lot bigger. So I'll probably end up in this pour using the smaller ones. And on the side here, just to show you, I've got a little pot or jug of water just to wash my chains off and just to leave them in there once I've finished using them. So I'm going to get started. Here is a simple canvas board, and I'm using a canvas board this time. It's almost an A4 size, just slightly bigger I think, but I'm using this because I want to use these up. I bought these and I didn't know what to do with them, and often with paint pouring they do tend to warp, but there are ways of stopping them from warping and also ways of straightening them out afterwards. But because my base paint is going to be very, very thin, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I won't have any problems with warping with these canvas boards. But if I do, I'll do a further video to show you how to sort that out afterwards. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to use my black Johnson's base paint to begin with. 1 second. So here it is, and I'm going to pop this on. This is silk paint, by the way, it's house paint. And normally for this type of thing I'd be using just all acrylics, but because I haven't got any black mixed up, I'm just going to go with this and see what happens. Oh, it's a little clogged, so give me a second. Okay, so I took the lid off it because I couldn't get it to come out and I haven't got time to unclog the lid. Oops, I'm just going to pour it right out onto this. And like I said, I don't really need a lot. I just want to keep a very thin base on here. And it's going to have a different effect to what I'd expect with this kind of chain pull, because this is likely to have some, not cells, but some, yeah, I suppose cells. So some lacing maybe, possibly, because as you know, they're let's use this palette knife. I'm just going to smooth it over. There's a bit of fluff on it. Okay, so let's just smooth this over. So I'm just going to show you, there's a bit of gunk in here. Actually, I might have to take that out and dump it in there. I've got a silicone mat underneath, so that'll catch all the paint. So yeah, so basically because it's the colours have got silicone in them, what will end up happening is that there'll be some lacing in my chain pull for the tail, which is fine. It'll have a different effect, that's all. So in a future video I plan to just do a simple chain pull with no silicone in it, and I'll show you the difference then. Okay, I'm going to forward this because you don't want to watch me do this, so I'll see you in a minute. I don't want to do that too much because, like I said, it's house paint and it doesn't really need it. So, okay. Right, what's next? So we're going to have it an orientation like this, I think. Okay, so landscape orientation. And I'm just going to start with my chain, if I can find where I put it. There it is. So this is the chain I'm going to be using. And I'm using the picture of my fish down there to have a look at what the fins look like and a tail looks like. And I'm going to try and choose my colours now. So I think I will use this colour, which is a lovely green, and maybe do two, and this colour, these two colours. And I'll put the colour names in the description box. So let's do those. So I'll do the outer part of it with this. So how shall I show you this? So I'm simply making sure I move this out slow this down, pop it in. Oops, wrong end. Yep, I will get there. I'll pop as much of it as I can in, and I'll get my stir stick and just make sure it's fully coated in there. It's definitely fully coated. Right, so that's in there now. Okay, so what I want to do now is if I just move this that way a bit, and I can pop this in here and you can see what I'm doing, hopefully. Yep. So I'm just using my fingers to take off the excess. There we go. And pop this back over here. So I'm going to do the first part of the tail, move this back down a bit there to try and give it some. How do we position this? I'm trying. There we go. Okay, so I've never done one of these before, not properly, so here we go. I'm going to try and pull this away. I already see I made a mistake there. Here we go, we'll pop this straight into the water. That's the first part. I'm just washing it down straight away because it's just quickly easy to wash up. Do the second part. I'm going to use a darker colour. This kind of greeny, beautiful greeny colour. I love this. Okay, so I'll put the chain in there again. Get it all in there. Right, and let's do the second part. So again, I'm going to have to position this the best I can. I'll pop it starting it right down here. Okay, so now I'm ready. Steady, go. There we go, back in the water it goes. Okay. So already I can see little pockets of black coming up, little holes showing the black base coat underneath, and that's because of the silicone, obviously. So if I were to do this again, I think the second time round I wouldn't use any silicone at all and see what happens. So I'm just going to quickly clean this chain up as well and then reuse it, because I don't really have that many of them. I only have like 3, I think. So yeah, so if you're going to do this, maybe invest in more than 3 chains. I mean, they're not that expensive, to be honest, so it's always a good idea to make sure you have enough. Right, so I'll just dry those up again and try again. And everywhere. Now I'm going to do the other part, the second part of the tail. I'm going to use a different colour again. And I'm in 2 minds about using this colour. It's like a royal blue colour. Or this lighter one. I wonder which would show up better. Maybe we'll use the lighter one. Yeah, we'll use the lighter one. It's a nice little, it's a nice colour. So let's sort that out. So I'm just going to do exactly the same technique. I'll dip in the chains and then we'll do this again. So third time now. And again, I'm trying to do squiggly lines rather than straight lines, which is harder than it sounds actually. There we go. So let's pull this across. Okay, so that's my 3 colours. I'm going to do the second part of the fish now. So I've got a bit more, if I look at the picture, I've got a bit more in there. I think that's still a tail. Yeah, it's a part of the tail, part of the fins. And we'll have to do the 2 fins as well, so I will be painting the fish itself in at a later date. And this one is more, see if I can do it without using both hands. Up here. The great thing about doing these type of fish is that you don't have to have it perfect. You know, because the thing about fins is they can be any shape you want them to be. Fins and tails. And I think next time when I do this, the next time I'm going to do a special where I'm using beautiful glitter in my paint, and in particular I want to use holographic glitter, and I'm really looking forward to that one. So yeah, stay tuned and you'll see some really interesting stuff coming up hopefully soon. Okay, so the next one was the green, wasn't it? Let's do the green. Great things about these is they don't actually drip either. Famous last words. It doesn't look like they drip, so we're going to do a lovely green tail there. Let's pop it down. Ooh. Okay, and then pull it. There we go. And the great thing is, while it's wet, if there's something on the painting that you don't like, you can change it. So I know there's bits in here that if it dried I would paint over with a black paintbrush, with black paint. So I'm going to correct it now while it's still wet, just to show you. Here I've just cleaned that off. I'm just wondering if I should put some fins in, and I might just quickly do that. Okay, so the first thing I want to correct is here. There's some blue here I don't really want, so I can just quickly I can do two things. I can just take the paint off by dipping my finger in until it turns black again, or darker even. Oh, I can add some black on top of it while it's still wet, so it dries darker. There we go, can you see that? Got rid of all that paint, and the black sort of goes back together again and fills out, so there's that bit gone. I quite like the rest of it actually, it's really pretty. There's a bit here that would change. I can just go in with a skewer as well, remember, so it doesn't have to be, my skewer's got stuff all over it. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect or anything, but it's just nice to know that you can make alterations if you need to. Okay, so there, perfect. And just want to make sure this bit was cleaned up. Yep. So what's next? Yeah, the fins. Okay, so let's do the fins, shall we, quickly? So the fish is actually going to be swimming this way, so its mouth is going to be down here, and that's all his tail. I might just quickly make sure there's no bubbles up here. Now, the problem with doing that with a flame is that you'll end up getting lots of little holes now, but that's fine. I mean, this is a practice run anyway, and we're going to do the proper one next week or the following week. So okay, so I have to do the next part, which is, as I said, the tail now. The fins. Now the fins are sticking out the side of the fish, so I'm going to have to guess where the side of the fish is going to be when I finally paint it on once it's dry. So let's do this. Let's pop the fins in. I'll make them blue, I think, because that's the most obvious colour. Okay, just realised I don't have to do that. I can just tap the side of the silicone cover. Most of the excess paint comes off. So here, so that's where the fish is. I'm going to have to put the fin, I think, down here. So it's curving. It's quite hard to curve these little things, and going back up. There we go. That's perfect. Now I'll put it away. There we go. How beautiful is that? That was just perfection, wasn't it? Let's wash that off. And then do the second one on the other side. And that's a much smaller one because you can barely see it. Obviously the fish is in the way, so you can barely see it. And I'm going to decide, I think he's up there somewhere. So there we go. There we go, that's perfect. Now, to give myself some idea where the fish is going to go, I might actually semi-draw the fish with the chain. Okay, and this just doesn't have to look perfect, this is just to give myself an idea where it's going. I've seen so many amazing artists do work like this, by the way, and it's funny, but we get inspired by so many different people in our lives and so many different ideas that we see, and sometimes you get an amalgamation of some amazing ideas, and you don't even know if there's one specific person that you know, inspired you. Instead, it's often quite a lot of different people. I'm not sure which way I'm going to take that. That's probably not going to work very well. Yep, that was just a bad idea. I did it the wrong way. So it doesn't matter, we can do another half. That still work out okay. I probably need a bigger bucket of water here. This water's gone completely black from the base paint being put into it. So I'm still learning about chainpulls. As you know, this is probably my second or third ever. The first one I ever did was a peacock. Wasn't brilliant, but you know, it was a start really trying to learn how to control the chains and how much paint to have on them and what consistency that paint needs to be and other things. So here's another one. Let's try putting the mouth on this fish. There we go. I just oh, it's even done a mouth for it. How amazing is that? I didn't expect that, but look at the little mouth. I just need an eye now and it's nearly finished. And I might do the part of the body needs to go up there as well. Might not you need to paint anything on this, actually, looking at it, but I think it needs something a bit more here. There's a lot of black there, so let's do that. Okay. Probably should have worn gloves for this because my hands are both kind of funny. They look like they got soot all over them. So, ow, okay, I nearly dropped all my things. Okay, so let's do the rest of the body. Why not? We're there. So let's do the rest of the body. I was actually going to wait till this dried, and then quite simply I was going to paint with a traditional paintbrush, like you know, paint the body and features in and the scales. But now looking at it, probably don't need to because the Chainpull is pretty much doing the entire painting for me. So I'm just wondering which way around I would put this. So I get the whole fish without ruining anything. And I think there's a last one for the tail really that I need to do. Like I said, you can make slight alterations if you want to. Bring this down here. Try and correct it a bit. Yep, so if I just actually helps if I just have a bit of tissue in my hands to make alterations. So as you can see, I can just tidy up some of the. Try to tidy up some of the parts of it if I wanted to. Okay. Perfect. There's not a lot to tidy up, to be honest. Maybe some more lines down here. I think less of my paints would have run together so much that they've been a bit thicker, so they might be slightly on the thin side. So that's something to take away from this, is learning about consistencies and what works well for you and what doesn't, especially with your climate in your country or wherever you're painting, climate in your studio. That all of that has some sort of effect as well. So yeah, so there we go. That's fine. I think that's looking good. I just want to add one last one before it starts drying, and I can feel it already starting to dry up on me. Always helps to keep a clean cloth, painting cloth nearby. So let's do the last bit of the tail and then I'll be happy. What colour should we do? Drop it over this side. There we go. I still think it needs a little more actually, so yep, I'm just going to wash this off again. Oh, there's times when we need to turn the whole thing. You know, like difficult to pull a chain in certain directions, like away from me, for instance. So I'll move this. Hope I don't drop this on it. Here we go. Turn it around and do maybe here. There we go. It's a good angle, and then we'll put it away. The reason it didn't work very well is because it's almost dry by there. The black paint is dried up. So yeah, quite need to touch that up. And that's quite easily done. I can just get some one of these and just add it on if I wanted to. Oops, I put it in the wrong one. That's not the right colour. Yeah, and then just. Oops, here we go. Yep, so this is a little cheat sheet of like trying to make up for the fact that my paint starts drying so quickly. It's actually quite warm here today and the heating's been on in the house, so my studio is really warm and it's drying very fast. Or you can just take a skewer to it really and just drag the colours down. It is sometimes easier to do it when it's dry and sometimes easier to do it when it's wet still. So whatever you're comfortable with at your level of pouring, I guess, or chain pulling is what you should really go for. Here we go. It's quite interesting how there's a mouth there, just need to add an eye. There we go. I think I'm happy with that. I don't know what you make of it. What do you think? I'm just going to quickly do a quick torch over it and leave it and let it dry and see what it looks like. It will dry a lot darker. But we'll see how it looks and we can accentuate it with paints anyway. So that's that done and we'll wait till it dries. See you then. So everyone, here is the wet result and it's in the process of drying here on a flat surface. I'm just using a little dotting tool to add some white acrylic paint onto the wet result here to create the two eyes. So I do one on each side and then I add a bit of white paint also to the mouth. So when it comes to doing slight embellishments and really kind of putting in the detail of the eye later when it's dry, it's easier for me to do that. I won't be showing you the dry result this week. I'll put a picture up on my YouTube channel of the dry result simply because I need to edit this video up quickly and get it out. I have a feeling that it's going to dry beautifully, probably a little darker than it is now, but I have a feeling it'll be ethereal and just really pretty. So stay tuned. I look forward to showing you the result next week on my channel, and in the meantime I want to thank you all for subscribing, liking and commenting, and we are going to go on to the next artist on the Fluid Art Express, and that's Venom Fluid Art. So I'll see you all there. Take care.